This video was brought to you by Yamaha Proven Off-Road ATVs and side-by-side vehicles.
Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and today we're going to do our full long-term review of the PSE Supra Focus. Before we get started, if you could please like, share, and subscribe, it really does help the channel. Now on to the review. The Supra Focus is the first PSE target bow I've ever had and got to spend any real time with. I've shot a couple of arrows out of a few others at the ATA show, but this is the first one they've sent over to me for extended testing, so I really do appreciate it. We'll get to the specs first. The Supra Focus is a 37-inch axle-to-axle bow. It's got a 7-inch brace height. It's got an IBO speed of 328 feet per second. And the draw lengths on this one are really adjustable. It starts from 26 up to 31.5 inches of draw length without the need of a bow press, just a rotating cam system. And it's also got the Evolve cam, and this one offers 3 different let-off options of 65, 70, and 75. I've got this one let out all the way out, so it's for it should be 75. It's actually reading to me at about 70% let off, and that increases the draw length by something in a round of a half an inch, more or less. So this one, I would normally have this in the 29.5 inch setting. It's pulling at about 30 inches or so even. The bow itself is dressed in a specialty archery scope and peep. It's got a Sherlock sight, Dunker stabilizers, a bright sight, Pro Trainer arrow rest, and that's about it. I've got this bow maxed out at 52 pounds. I normally bring in bows at 60, and I think just PSE at the time when they sent this didn't have any 60 on hand, and they just wanted to get it to me, so they sent me with 50-pound limbs, and so yeah, I've got this cranked all the way down to 52. With that, I ran this bow through the chronograph, and it was doing with a 350 grain gold tip platinum pierce arrow. It saw about 275 feet per second, even at 52 pounds. So if you're shooting this thing at 60 or more, you're really going to see a lot better speed. Draw cycle on the Supra Focus is really quite smooth. It's a very nice linear pull into the wall, no crazy hump or anything like that. It's got an advantage over some of the other bows because I'm only shooting at 52 pounds instead of 60. But the smoothness is not going to change anyway. Where this one is a little different is the valley is fairly short, even in the highest let-off setting I've got here. So there's not a lot of play when you're at full draw. Generally what that means for me is I shoot better because it forces me to pull through a shot and stay more consistent. When I have a lot of valley and a deeper let-off, I tend to get a little sloppy. So this bow has done a good job of helping me kind of keep on the straight and narrow as far as form goes. I don't think if I had this bow with 60-pound limbs, I would be shooting it at 60. Bows like the Hoyt Prevail and the Matthews TRX 38, I didn't shoot those at 60 either. I typically shot those at about 55 pounds, and I suspect that's about where I'd shoot this as well, just because the valley is short. It feels like a true target bow. Whereas I've got 2 other bows this year in the Martin Axon 40 and the Prime Logic CT9. Both those I have maxed out at 60 pounds, and they're fine as is. This one, like the Hoyt and the Matthews before, it was probably be 55, 56 pounds. I'm guessing if I had it with the 60-pound limbs. So with those, I'd probably get speeds in around that mid 280s range, I suspect, with that same arrow. So as I said, the draw cycle is really nice on this bow. It holds really well. It was one of the easier bows I've had to tune in a very long time. I had zero trouble getting this thing with a bullet hole through paper. The only quirk I had with this with initial setup is that it's setting up a little bit left of where I would have thought as far as the center shot goes. So it's not when I generally kind of go my starting point is usually about 13/16 of an inch from the riser as a basic starting point. This one is more like an inch and a hair, at least for my setup right now. Not sure why that is. I was initially concerned with it, but it's been shooting so well that I haven't really paid it much attention since then. I brought it to the attention of PSE, and they didn't seem concerned. Because it's shooting well, and maybe if you were, if you're a high level, if Stefan Hansen had this, he might notice somewhat of a tune difference when it's with the center shot out like that. But I don't. It's for someone my skill level. It seems to shoot. The arrows go where I point. That's all I can ask. And the bow is really easy to shoot. And even when it was with the center shot out like that, it shot a bullet hole through paper very easily. I got a bare shaft hit with fletched at 20 without any issues at all. So it was a dream to set up and get going with. The Evolve cam system has been around for a little while now. It first came out on the kind of the Evolve series of bows, and it came over on the Perform and Perform-X and the Shoot Down. And again, it's a really nice cam system, and it's the same cam system PSE uses on their fully high-end target bows. The Perform X was for one. That's a $1,700 bow. This one has a sticker price of about $1,100, so that's a $600 savings. You're getting the exact same cam system. And it's about a $200 savings over the shoot down, which again is the same cam system and is also not a shoot through like the Perform X. And I think the only real difference for the $200 price tag, I'm guessing, is it doesn't have the LES system, which lets you kind of laterally move the limbs just without, I believe, without a bow press. So this one doesn't have that. Otherwise, I would have probably moved the limbs a little bit to the right to move the center shot in. And as of now, if it was really bothering me, I'd play with spacers or something like that. But again, bow shooting great. I have no real concerns about how it's going. I have this bow set up largely for 3D. That's what I've been using this bow for since I got it. So I've got a larger scope on there with a 4-power lens, and it shot very well for me. I had a little bit of trouble building a sight tape because of they only on 52 pounds, and I'm shooting heavier arrow for 3D. I shoot with a gold tip X cutter with 140 grains up front, so it's a bit heavier than most would use for 3D. I just like a heavier point weight on my 3D arrows because I'm shooting known and I'm not super concerned about speed. Beyond that, though, the bow is PSE uses the very wide set limbs, and unlike the other target bows in the lineup, the limbs are fairly short on this. And so again, I'm not sure the design cues why they chose to do that, but I like how it feels. The bow is really nice. I have a penchant for enjoying long risered bows with very parallel limbs. I tend to shoot well with those for years now. This is the kind of the bows I've kind of taken to. But this bow is pretty much the opposite of that. It's a shorter riser. The limbs are going straight up. It's kind of an old school design, similar to like a PSE Moneymaker or something like that. But I really like how it shoots. It shoots nice. The string quality on this thing has been excellent. I've noticed 0 peep rotation through a couple thousand shots on this bow. It's holding up excellently. I have no complaints about that whatsoever, which is a nice thing. So if I'm going to buy a target bow, if I'm going to spend $1,000 or more on a target bow, I don't want to have to go replace strings right away, because that's another expense off the top. I know a lot of people like to do that off the bat, but if you got good strings, you don't have to worry about it. And these ones have been excellent from the get-go. The grip on the Supra Focus is again exactly what I'm looking for in a target grip. It's completely flat in the front. The angle is nice. It's not too wide. It fits in my hand great. I don't have a huge hand. It's but like a large, extra large glove. But sometimes I have a little trouble with a really wide set riser, a really wide set grip rather. And this one is not bothering me with that at all. It's got a fairly smooth finish, but I haven't had any need to wrap it. Sometimes I have that when my hand gets a little sweaty on bows, and so far this one is staying put in there. I have not felt the need to wrap it, which is another nice option that I like. Maybe when I'm out in the summer sun, if it's 100 degrees and I'm shooting, I might change my mind on that. But for now, as it's set up, it's shooting really well. And again, for $1,100, this is excellent value. We've had a couple of lower priced target bows this year. Not that any of them are inexpensive. They're still target bows from major manufacturers, so they're still $1,100. But when you're looking at the Perform X at $1,700 or the TRX at $1,800, this $1,100 seems like a bargain. And the bow really shoots great. Like I'm not sure how much better I would shoot if I had a Perform X in my hand. Maybe I'd like to find out, but we'll save that for another day. But the bow as it is shoots great. I have 0 complaints with how it goes. Again, I would like maybe to knock this let off down to 75% just to see what it's like. But as it stands right now, I've maxed out. I'm about 70, so which is perfectly within reason. Is what I normally shoot anyway, is 65 to 70. But I just wanted to experiment and see if I could make the valley a little bit longer than it is. That's if I wanted to really fine tune it. But as it stands right now, it's keeping me honest and making me shoot how I should shoot. So I probably shouldn't change anything. Anyway, Archery Talk, I think that's about it for now. Stay tuned for the shootout video in the coming weeks with all of our target bows, and then we'll have a hunting bow shootout later on. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Thanks so much.